So for many of you who have watched this Ungraded Camera News show before, you know that we love to start out with something fun and funny and sarcastic just to get everything going before we get into the news. And this week we wanted to do something a little different just because of some of the world events and things happening, and we didn't want to just kind of pass that by and not acknowledge some of that. So today we want to begin with a shout out to the hundreds of journalists, photographers, videographers, documentary cinematographers, and others who are pretty much risking their lives to keep the world informed about what is happening in Ukraine. It's easy to get overwhelmed with the news and to dive into debates about what's real or fake news in today's world. But through these brave men and women, we're seeing the horrors of war basically as they happen. Photojournalist Lynsey Addario, who is in Kyiv, said this about the importance of covering major world events.
For me, it's really important to document the civilian toll of this war when residential buildings are hit or when women and children and families get forced into bunkers underground. Yesterday, I visited a shelter where it was beneath a hospital, so there were mothers with sick children. Women are putting their children on trains and sending them to a different part of the country because, they need to send their children to safety. So these are the really important issues, I believe, for the world to see, because it's not, people fighting in a vacuum. War affects everybody.
And this really is the heartbeat of photography and cinematography, telling stories that inspire change in our world so that the atrocities of the past can be reconciled and present moments in history, like in Ukraine, can wake apathetic minds to the horrors that are still too prevalent in today's world. With just incredible but devastating photos and videos coming out of Ukraine, scenes of disaster, heartache, and also just amazing demonstrations of people caring for each other through the unimaginable. So we just want to take a second to acknowledge all of you out there who are helping us to stay informed, for documenting this major historical event and keeping the world connected to what is happening there in Ukraine. Stay safe. And if you're interested in helping with humanitarian efforts for the nearly 1 million and counting people who were forced to flee to safety, we encourage you to do so. We've put together a list of reputable charities that have boots on the ground to help, and you can check that out in the description below. In lens news this week, Venus Optics released a new range of cinema lenses for micro four thirds systems. The Laowa 6mm T2.10D MFT Cine, the Laowa 10mm T2.10D MFT Cine lens, the Laowa 17mm T1.9 MFT Cine, and the Laowa 50mm T2.9 Macro AFO MFT Cine. And you can pick these up individually or in a bundle. And I actually had the opportunity to demo the 17mm lens over the last few weeks. If you want to hear more about those and check out some of the footage I captured with the 17mm, check out my review video from earlier this week. We've linked it in the description below. Leave it up to Christopher Nolan to do something that's never been done with a film camera. Universal Pictures released some of the first look images from Nolan's upcoming film, Oppenheimer. It tells the story of American scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer as he developed the atomic bomb, a story that honestly hits a little too close to home right now. And it stars one of Nolan's favorite actors, Cillian Murphy. Christopher Nolan is working with Hoyt van Hoytema, an IMAX cinematographer and Nolan's cinematic partner. This is his fourth collaboration with the cinematographer after working together on Dunkirk, Tenet, and my personal favorite, Interstellar. Now, Oppenheimer isn't Nolan's first film shot on IMAX cameras, but it will be the first film shot on the black and white IMAX camera. IndieWire reports that the film will be shot on a combination of IMAX 65mm and 65mm large format film photography and IMAX black and white analog photography. They're using the black and white footage for multiple scenes to help strengthen the historical impact of the film. Production just started last month, but we can go ahead and get excited for this one. I mean, who doesn't get excited about a Christopher Nolan movie? It's bound to be good and probably time-bending, per usual. Oppenheimer is set to release in July 2023. And ColourLab A.I, a revolutionary color grading software, went through a ton of upgrades and now is available as version 2.0 public beta. Red Shark News got a preview of what the new interface includes, and here's what you can expect. Timeline intelligence that automatically groups similar shots based on location and shot type. Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro integration, freaking awesome. The ability to auto color with just a click using AI-based image analysis. Color tune for adjusting aspects like exposure and white balance without any prior knowledge of color wheels. The show look library that combines 3D LUTs with parametric metadata for easy modification and variations. Smart LUT, a feature that looks at each shot individually and then applies the look by taking the location, shot type, lighting, and more into account. And improved camera matching means the software matches shots from different cameras into a full color managed pipeline, something that can really speed things up if you're working on a project with multiple cameras. If you're new to ColourLab AI, it's one of the most interesting pieces of software that's come out in the past few years. It takes the pain out of color grading, easily matches shots, and applies various looks using AI. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about this one, and the process is so effective that notable TV shows are even using it. If you're interested in getting ColourLab, there are now 2 subscription levels. ColourLab's Creator comes in just at $129 per year, but it does lack some features. The full software with all of the features is available in ColourLab's Pro and is priced per month, quarter, or year. And I have to say, I'm definitely going to be looking into this software because if there's one thing I don't love doing, it's color correcting and color grading. This sounds awesome. We're all invited to Canon's birthday party celebration this month. The company announced that it's celebrating 35 years of the EOS system, which is just crazy. The EOS system includes interchangeable lens cameras and a wide range of systems accessories like EF and RF lenses. The EOS system first debuted in March 1987 with the launch of the EOS 650 single lens reflex camera and EF lenses. It was the world's first fully electronic mount system and really represented the launch of a new generation of autofocus SLR cameras. Since then, Canon expanded the lineup with many compact and lightweight EOS systems and lenses. And as for the future of the EOS line, Canon says it is continuing to refine its diverse imaging technologies based on core optical technology that meet the needs of an increasingly broad user base. And Canon is celebrating with something that has much more than a birthday present price tag. The company released 2 new RF lenses, including their longest focal length RF lens yet. The RF 800mm f5.6 and the RF 1200mm f8. Super telephoto fixed focal length lenses are lightweight considering the capabilities and share many of the same features. Both have super spectra coating and air sphere coating to minimize ghosting and flaring, and are compatible with the RF 1.4x and the RF 2x extenders and include customizable electronic focusing ring with manual focus capabilities. The estimated retail price comes in at just under $17,000 for the 800mm and just under $20,000 for the 1200mm. So start saving. And that's it for this week's Ungraded Camera News. Yeah, and be sure to check out this video where I talked about the most minimal way to set up a Pocket 4K. So you know, if you're on a really tight budget, it works really great. Check out this video, it has some great information in it. I'll talk to you guys next week.